Hello, I'm Super Orange Cat here, and today with Toonami's ratings from November 14th, 2020. Let's start with the top of the block. At the top of the block, we have Dragon Ball Super at a 0.25, Sword Art Online War of the Underworld Part 2 at a 0.19, Fire Force Season 2 at a 0.16, The Assassination Classroom at a 0.15, Jimaseto Death Beats at a 0.14, followed by another 0.14, Naruto Shippuden at a 0.12, and the Demon Slayer at 0.09. Overall, this was a pretty mixed bag of a week, and it led me to one bit of a revelation, which I'll come back to in a minute. First thing, I think a lot of people heard me when I said that Dragon Ball Super was lacking because it ended up being the big winner of the week by going up 400s actually, and that is by a good margin the biggest increase of the week. So maybe there actually is some life of it as the leadoff, but at the same time, I feel like for the long-term health of Toonami, they're going to need to figure out some way to get past having to have a Dragon Ball show at the start of the block for long-term issues. But for right now, it appears to be okay, I suppose. And then you have Sword Online. It went up a bit to 0.19. And like I said, right now it looks like it is the strongest show, especially the strongest premiere right now. The only show to even really approach a point two like this. And again, it's just become this weird thing where a lot of people have gotten behind Sword Art Online, in a way that really I think a lot of people haven't in a while. And it's just really interesting to see. And yeah, it's like it wasn't that long ago where the sub came out. I want to say just a few months ago, and people are seeing that and then coming back to see the dub. And then you have and then here's the big issue of the week is Fire Force. Fire Force actually went with Sword Art Online and Dragon Ball Super going up reasonable amounts. You would think that okay, Fire Force goes up 1 or 2 hundredths too. Nope, it actually went down 1/100 to a 0.16. And there's many reasons why it's happening. The biggest one, and the one that's 100% self-inflicted by Toonami, is that they're not choosing the show to have promos of. I believe it was last Thursday night was when they first showed the promo for this past week's episode of Fire Force. And if you've been paying close attention, the shows that right now Adult Swim has been giving or Toonami's been giving the promo time to is by the widest margin Sword Art Online. Don't blame them considering that's the biggest title that's premiering right now. And then I've seen more from Assassination Classroom in Fire Force, which I find to be interesting because my belief is that Toonami's gambling that since Fire Force the dub came out not that long ago, that there's gonna be some people who watch it and are just not gonna come back to watch it on Toonami. But Assassination Classroom has been out of everyone's heads for quite a while, so maybe if they promote it, then it'll just be like new to a lot of people, and it would almost work like a completely new premiere. But the ratings don't show that because Assassination Classroom also dropped this week to a 0.15. And and I was saying, like, the one thing Toonami could hang its hat on with how the ratings have been poor lately was how the middle of the block has had solid retention. You cannot say that this week. We have a bit of a chasm open up between Sword Art Online and Fire Force, and I think it's many ways self-inflicted. Where you have Sword Art Online, which is on the up right now, the stock of that show is going up, especially with Dragon Ball having a good week this past week. And then it's no excuse that something like Fire Force, which is new episodes, is losing ground for you guys. And then you have Assassination Classroom, well, it's just following suit. Like you can't pin any of the issues on Assassination Classroom. It's just stuck behind Fire Force. It only dropped 100th behind Fire Force, you know. And then now you have arguably another interesting story. You have Jimaseto Death Beats increasing this past week. The first episode increased by 200s, and the third episode increased from 300s from the previous week's episodes. And there's some theories I've heard about it, with perhaps the most notable being that you have like the general Adult Swim fan base, like the people who don't watch Toonami. They're like, wait, Jimaseto's airing on Toonami? We'll have to watch it. I have to watch it on Toonami, I guess. A lot of people just sitting, waiting for it to air like Sunday nights. Instead, we get it on Saturday nights now. And also, you have this interesting backstory of, and this slept under my radar for a while, but apparently Turner, which is the parent company that has Cartoon Network and Adult Swim, they announced a big series of layoffs, which affected the entirety of the Adult Swim streaming department. So stuff like Fish Center, last podcast on the left, forgot the name of it, like other stuff like that, or pitch meeting, stuff like that, completely canned, everyone fired, with the one person not being fired being Maxime Simonette. And Maxime Simonette is the creator of Jumaseto Death Beats. And I think if Jumaseto Death Beats wasn't airing right now, he probably been canned too, because it would have been horrible PR that of all the cuts you had to make, you fired someone whose show you're promoting right now, you know. Oh, and Jumaseto Death Beats gets more promotion than Fire Force too, because that's apparently where we are now. I mean, Fire Force has the most marketable waifu on the block, and it's like, oh, it's bad taste to do it. I don't know, man. Like they put Haruko's sexiness front and center when they're promoting Fooly Cooly. And you could say all you want, and I have said a lot about how the Fooly Cooly sequels really underperformed, but it was not because of how sexy Haruko is. I'm just gonna say that right then and there. Like, and it might be a little seedy to do, but I'm saying fan service has never killed anything, you know. But again, Jim said of Death Beats having that bit of an increase, maybe because of some grassroots thing going on with the general Adult Swim fan base. And then the next two, you can't say much. Shippuden just kind of follows the other shows, though. It went up a bit, so it didn't decrease. That's a good thing. And Demon Slayer, I think we're stuck with it being around point 0.1 material. And it's a run at 3:30 in the morning. No one really cares what it's actually rating, you know? But again, this was a pretty interesting week for Adult Swim, for Toonami. It's not too often you get a mixed bag, because usually you have everything goes up a bit or everything goes down a bit. And it's pretty interesting to see. And I think it is a general just poor lack of marketing decision regarding Fire Force, which has dragged down the back half of the block. What do you guys think? What's your opinions on the show? What do you think about Toonami's schedule right now? Leave your comments, leave your opinions down below. I appreciate your input. I'm Super Orange Cat, and that is all.